fingers are a bit numb right now, but I'm going to see if I can zoom in. Get you some crepuscular rays. Brilliant crepusculars. Look at that. Peeking through the clouds over there onto that body of water, shining back, reflecting back that sunlight. It's obviously towards the west. It's about 5:30 p.m. and it's just beautiful. I believe that body of land just behind the crepusculars is the Mull of Kintyre. So that is the ocean. Stunning. Unfortunately, I don't have the biggest of zoom cameras on this, zoom lenses on this thing, but they're actually developing quite nicely as I'm talking. So I'll hang on. I'm sure frostbite won't be setting in anytime soon, but it did make me think, actually, while I've been walking down the hill, about my experience with an Antarctic expedition 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now, with a guy called Ranulph Fiennes. Right, he was doing a mission known as the longest winter or something. He was trying to traverse Antarctica during the winter time. Now this is before I discovered that we don't live on a ball, and that curvature is 8 inches per mile squared. Anyway, I happened to go on the very ship that was taking him and his crew down to Antarctica. I didn't meet him, but I met his ordnance guy, the guy who was doing all the organizing, and his wife. We had some good conversations, and she was complaining about how it had taken him 5 years to get permission to do this mission. Now, he never completed the mission. He got frostbite, and actually, I'm fairly sure now, even then, it didn't seem like he was going through the center, or rather traversing the crust or the edge. However, you know, people say that people like Fiennes are insiders and so on, but I don't know. You know, for him to take 5 years and to get permission to go seems to me to be a bit of an oddity. Not only that, I contacted her after the failed mission, and I asked her how things had been, and her replies to me, or response via email, I think it was very terse at the time. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. She's obviously moved on, so on. But I've got a feeling that they got information that they needed to keep quiet after that so-called aborted trip because of a bit of frostbite. So yeah, I don't think that even the insiders get to go very far, or get unlimited access to Antarctica. Just as a matter of reference, the ship that I was on was called the Agulhas, and I got to go on it on the Thames. It was moored up against the HMS Belfast on the Thames River for a few weeks while they took on provisions for the mission. And I got to go on it twice, actually. It was to do with some journalism work that I was doing, and it's a long story, I won't go into it. But I did get offered by the captain a trip. He took some people on a tour around the map room, and I didn't know anything about the curiosities to do with the Earth. Oh look, a bit more crepuscular action coming in towards me. You got to start to triangulate between those two bodies of light, where the sun might be, or rather my version, my iteration of the sun might be. Anyway, so he offered me a trip. He knew I was doing a bit of freelance journalism for a South African newspaper. I was unpaid. It wasn't like I was a paid journalist. It was just a free South African newspaper called the SA Times, and I did a few articles. They're probably still online if anyone's that interested. But SA Times, and it was called the Agulhas. It was South Africa's icebreaker, so-called icebreaker. Not a very big ship, actually, considering the sort of ice that it's meant to break. But yeah, I thought you folks might find that fascinating, or a little interesting aside, along with these beautiful crepuscular rays. I'll call it quits there. Have a good one. See you in Italy.